Okay, after taking a solid look at the sideboard, doesn't seem like there's too much that needs to be done here, other than bringing in the ring flush. Alright, so we'll suggest here it looks like a 9-7 split. So do we want to get that a little bit closer? Let's see, the 1-drop is kind of split. 2-drop, we want the swamps a little bit more, but then that 4-drop is just filled with red. So I think we might want to prioritize the red just a little bit higher than this suggests, just because by the time that we get to the 5-drop that's got all the black, we're more likely to hit that swamp. So let's try it out that way. Alright, round 1. Here we go. And our very first hand of the tournament has a single mountain, so let's toss that back. And another single mountain. Okay, so the single mountain is different because we do have a shock. And if we get another land, we come into our Goblin Shortcutter. If that other land is a swamp, then we almost have our entire hand, because then we can also get the Corpse Hauler. So let's go ahead and try it. I hate mulliganing. This one could really get us. But if we draw a swamp, then we're going to come out smelling like a rose. So let's hold up that shock and hope for a land. Okay, he's got a Mystic, and that is going to get a shock stapled to its face. There we go, Stone Rain for 1. Alright, come on, swamp, 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 swamp. Give me a swamp. There we go, okay. So clearly, I am an awesome Magic player who knows exactly what hands to keep. Unless I didn't draw any lands, and then I would be a terrible Magic player. But good players know how to draw good cards. So we're going to start with the Corpse Hauler here, because next turn we can shortcut something and stop a blocker from coming through. Ideally, we draw another land. There we go. Okay, so now we can play off everything in our hands. So we'll swing through. No tricks I can think of in the format, so we'll get through for 2. And then use our mana efficiently and get out the Necromancer. So what looked like it was going to be a horrible start to game 1 is actually pretty nice. If he only plays 1 blocker down next turn, I've got 4 coming through. Advocate of the Beast. Okay, so I've got some choices here. I could shortcut the Advocate and just swing through for 4, or I could send both of my guys and hope that he blocks, and then Ring Flesh to kill his Advocate, regardless of what it is that he blocks. So I'm going to play out the Bubbling Cauldron first, to give him an idea that I might sack sack either one of them that he were to block, just to give him that kind of idea. It'd still be a terrible play on my part, but he doesn't know that I'm not a terrible player, so. Okay, so he does. He falls for the bait, he's tapped out, I don't have to worry about any tricks. So we will Ring Flesh. Alright, we've got him at 16. I will probably get through for 4 next turn. Rod of Ruin. Okay, well, Rod of Ruin kills one of my guys on the board and one of the guys in my hand. So that's a lot better than Rod of Ruin generally is. Okay, I got a mountain that doesn't really do a whole lot for me. So do I hold back the Shortcutter, hoping to take out a blocker? Because next turn, if he doesn't play down a blocker, he's going to use his Rod to kill my Corpse Hauler. So do I want to offer him up 2 targets? So I've got him at 12. If he's going to kill him, I may as well have another one down to get those 2 points in and make him use up his mana. Okay, so I'll probably... Well, if he uses Rod of Ruin, that's the best possible thing for me, because otherwise he's playing down something that can block my whole team, and that playing the shortcutter would have been a bit of a waste. Okay, I don't mind the Recluse. I'm willing to trade any single one of my guys for the Recluse. I would hope to trade the Corpse Hauler just because I would get a token out of it. Okay, so he speeds that process up for me and he targets the Corpse Hauler. So I will still get 4 life out of that. And I get a token. So in the short run, it's actually helpful for me because I just ate up 3 of his mana. I used one of mine that wasn't really doing anything special. I get an extra point of toughness on my creature, and 4 life. So that's not so bad. I might have actually taken out the shortcutter if I were him, just because it wouldn't have produced a token. Okay, here we go. So I can play out my hand. So I'll swing into him with everybody, getting through 4 points, and probably getting another zombie out of it if he blocks the Necromancer. Okay, there we go. So he's blocking the Necromancer. That's been doing plenty of work. It got me 2 zombies. So I can play out my Minotaur now. Got him down to 8. He'll, at the very least, ping my shortcutter. Then I'll still have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Okay, so I've almost got him down if he only uses his Rod of Ruin during his turn. He does have 3 more cards in his hand than I do. Brindlebore. Okay, not the end of the world. He can either use that to trade with one of my 2-powered guys, or he can use it to block and sack the Minotaur. So if he blocks and sacks on the Minotaur, then his life total will stay the same, because that 4 points of life gain will offset the 2 zombies. Oh, nice. Okay. So I don't really care if he does that now, because I've got Outrage in hand. So anything that he plays that has 4 toughness or less is going to fall right into lethal, because I'll still have 7 points of attack power, and those extra 2 that go to him should kill him. So he's going to have something pretty impressive to pull out of this first game. Alright, good. There's a land. He's got 7 total. Tapping quite a few of them. Dismiss into Dreams. Okay, so he's the Dismiss into Dreams deck. If you've never played up against this, Dismiss into Dreams makes all of my creatures phantoms. So anytime they get targeted, then they automatically die, which means that Rod of Ruin is just a pay 3 mana, tap Rod of Ruin, kill target creature. So he can really kill all my creatures he wants to one at a time, because I have him at 1 life. Okay, so when I look to sideboard, I might want to see if there's anything that would deal with the Dismiss into Dreams. With the way he's been playing, I've been able to rush him out before he really got up to that kind of mana. So I might even just be able to ignore it. Oh, there's a friend of mine. He was helping me out with some draft strategy the other day. The internet is a small place. I started talking to him, and he is also a pastor who plays Magic, so we have those 2 things in common, so we're kind of a rare breed. Okay, so I've got all different kinds of gas. Really, all I need to do is hit with one of these guys, so I don't want to show him anything more than I have to. I'm just going to swing with everybody. So he'll block 1. If I can get either one of the other 2 through, then that's fine. Okay, so we Rod of Ruins the Minotaur, that's fine. I've still got a creature getting through. So he's got 1 green left. I assume he has Giant Growth. Is that the trick he's been waiting for? Because when you get Dismiss into Dreams, Giant Growth turns into a kill spell because it targets. Yep, there's the Giant Growth. And that is okay, because now he's tapped out. So I will go ahead and outrage his Advocate, and there's nothing he can do about it. Okay, game 1 down. So is there anything that I want to bring in against this deck? I know he's got Rod of Ruin, Dismiss into Dreams, Giant Growth, and nothing else really that notable. Lightning Talons is not good, especially not on something that's just got the 1 toughness, so I won't put anything in. Yep, awful hand, less awful hand. Yeah, I'm not wild about this one, but you do get to hold up a Ring Flesh right off the bat. Hey, Merfolk Spy. That's not the kind of card that I expect after he's seen that I don't play any islands, but that's fine. So I'll get my Swamp down there to hold up my Ring Flesh. I did not think that Merfolk Spy was a good card until a couple of drafts ago when I just happened to have one because I think it was like the 14th pick or something like that. And I played somebody with blue, and the guy that just sent me a message a little bit ago had told me that it was a good card, so I said, well, I'll try it out. So I played it, and the game went on for like, I don't know if it was 8 turns or something like that, so it got through 7 points of damage, and I got to look at his hand. So any blue card that costs a single blue and gets through 7 points of damage, it gives you information about your opponent's hand, is actually good. So give that card a second try if you are prejudiced against it like I was. Alright, so the shortcutter, not shortcutting anybody, but I didn't want to hold it back to wait for the Necromancer to come down because I'm going to curve all the way out up to 4 here, and I'd feel a little silly waiting to play the Goblin Shortcutter as a 5. If you don't think that's the right decision, let me know in the comments. Okay, so Advocate of the Beast. So it's things like that that would make holding onto the Goblin Shortcutter better, because that Advocate shuts down my Shortcutter and my Necromancer. So I'm not going to be swinging in this turn, so there's no real reason to have it down. Okay, so get my Necromancer. Now we're just waiting to get down the Maulhorn. Okay, he has 4 mana. He has a Zephyr Charge, which is normally not that strong of a card, but when you have Dismiss into Dreams, it turns into a machine gun. Okay, Divination. Not scary yet, but I don't know what he drew. Okay. Oh, we've got an Altar's Reap. That's nice. But for now, let's be mana efficient and get down the Maulhorn. Ideally, you want to use Altar's Reap on one of their creatures after you steal it. But if you've got a creature that's just sitting around not really doing anything, then you can use Altar's Reap on it. Like that Shortcutter's not doing a whole lot right now. Now, if I had held on to the Shortcutter, the next turn, he's only got 1 creature down right now, so it would be letting through 7 points of damage if he doesn't play down another blocker. Which he does. He's got a Spore Mound. Okay, the Spore Mound could set me back a little bit. The little 1/1s that it makes could block my Maulhorn for quite some time. Oh, that was a perfect time to draw it. Okay, so I dropped my 5th land, and I've got Liturgy of Blood. So that'll go up and eat the Spore Mound. Then my Mulhorn will have to attack. And he'll probably just let that through. Otherwise, he's opening himself up to an additional 4 points every turn because he has no blockers. So I imagine that I have him at 15. Okay, so he's got 3 cards on me. I like my board state. Things are going well. Elixir. Okay, I don't mind that. He's only got 3 cards in the graveyard, so it wouldn't really be wise to use it right now because he's not replenishing his card quality that much. Okay, so he uses it. That's fine. It gets himself back up. Predatory Sliver. Well, as long as he doesn't draw any other slivers, I'm okay with that. He can double block and trade with my Mulhorn if he wants to. That's fine. Okay, well that was a bit of a blank. So we'll get through with the Mulhorn. Yep, he does not want to double block, which is wise. Alright, he's got to have something in those 3 cards. Okay. So he attacks in with this Predatory Sliver, which I'm happy to trade a Shortcutter for. Okay, he's going to give it flying. So that will fly over and get me for 2, which I'm not too concerned about. I like my clock a lot more than his. It also means that he's not playing something enormous. And he taps for 3 green. What instant and green costs 3? Apparently nothing. Okay. So he drains 3 out of his pool for no particular reason. I wonder if that was a misclick or... Alright, we'll play at one of these mountains. I like to play additional land every once in a while when I'm holding them in my hand, so it makes it look like that I'm the kind of player that just plays the land as soon as it gets into my hand. It makes the cards that are left look more like real cards. Whereas if you just let all of it pile up and they see that you have 5 cards in your hand but plenty of mana and you're not doing anything, they can get a pretty good guess that most of them are land. Also, if you don't have anything that changes the situation, and it's never that bad to just hold that 1 additional land in your hand, because if you draw something that needs the extra land, then you can just play it that turn. Okay, so he's got double Advocate of the Beast. So my guess is there's a beast in there somewhere that desperately wants those 2 +1/+1 counters every turn. Alright, he flies over again. That's fine. The second Advocate of the Beast does put me in a bad position now, because now he can double block and just trade 1 Advocate for my Mulhorn. Which is a little ironic, since the flavor behind the Advocate Mulhorn thing is that the green card is supposed to be advocating for the red one, not killing it. So yeah, I have to swing, so we'll just see what he does. I have the choice of Altar's Reaping, but I think I'd rather have one of his Advocates dead than have me get 2 cards. Yeah, I'll just throw all the damage on one of these guys. Doesn't really matter since he's tapped out, but I just like to be cautious and put all 5 on 1. So we'll play out this Canyon Minotaur. I'm holding up Altar's Reap just in case. Okay, so he's got one card. Okay, no, there's his card. So we're even on cards in hand. My board state's a little bit better than his, and I've got 6 more life. So I think I've still got a slight advantage, although he does have a Zephyr chart. Oh, okay. So he's Frost Breath my guys. I don't really want to wait around for them to untap, and that shortcutter's not doing me any good anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and reap that. Takes a little bit of the sting off of the Frost Breath. And I draw the Act of Treason. Okay, so the Act of Treason would have been nice with the Altar's Reap, but I would have had to wait 2 turns to get it. So now I have an Act of Treason and no sack outlet. But I still have plenty in my deck, so there's a pretty good chance that I can draw one by the time I need it. Okay, he'll send in for 2, and I will not chump. Hey, there's my sack outlet. Okay. So, no problem. And I have enough mana to do both of them in the same turn if I want to. So I could grab the Advocate if I wanted to. Cannot grab the Brindlebore because he'll just sack in response. And I could grab the Sliver. So nothing really stands out unless it would actually be a swing for the win. Which right now wouldn't even be close to. Let's see, by the time the Minotaur untaps, if I can steal one of his guys, that's 2, 4, 7, 9. So it's not enough. Okay, actually, the Blood Baron might be enough because you can double sack the Necromancer. So if he gets aggressive here and lets me swing through without something to block the Blood Baron, I can kill him next turn with the Act of Treason. But not if he's going to have double Brindlebore. Okay, so this game's going to go a few more turns just because he's at least got enough to continue to get that extra life. Is he just going to attack with the Sliver? Nope, he's also going to give it to the Boar. All of his creatures are too dinky for me to really be that excited about Act of Treason right now. If he plays a Beast, then the Advocate of the Beast gets a lot better. So I would either want to take that or the Beast. Probably just the Beast. Okay, what do I get? Blank. Okay, so now we're both at 10. So he can make 3 things fly, so he can force 6 damage through. So he's actually got me on a 2-turn clock. So before he just starts swinging for 6 on me, we're going to take this card. It's not a great card, but it's 2 points that would be flying over to get me. So let's swing with everybody. The card that he should be blocking here is the Blood Baron. So if he blocks the Blood Baron, I will sack his own guy to... Yeah, okay. So I'm going to sack his own guy to let the Blood Baron live. And I get 5 points through, which will get him down to 5. He's going to sack the Brindlebore, which will get him back up to 9. He's still got another boar. But at least he can only hit me for 4 each turn now, which is significant. That changes him from a 2-turn to a 3-turn clock. So I bought myself a turn, snuck in a little bit of damage, and took out a creature, or 2. So even though the creature that I got wasn't spectacular, it's not like I was taking out his bomb rare. It was a 2 for 1, which allowed me to force through some damage. Ah, that's a turn late. Well, was it a turn late? No, I wouldn't have been able to. Would I have been able to do it with mana? I don't know. Well, anyway. Okay, so here's what I can do. He has one card in hand. So if he doesn't have any combat tricks, then I can use the Grim Return to get back the Necromancer. Difficulties there. Sorry for the video skipping around everywhere. Okay, so he is aggressively getting in for 4. Okay, so now I remember where we were. So the trick here with the Grim Return is that I can sack the Necromancer, which gives me a token, and then I can sack the token. And then I can do Grim Return, getting the Necromancer back, sacking the Necromancer, and then sacking the new token. So it's 4 total sacks, and with the +2/+2, that can get my Blood Baron all the way up to being a 10/10. So if he's got something to blank my Blood Baron, then I will waste 2 cards and only get through 3 points. But if he doesn't have a trick for the Blood Baron, then I'm fine. Okay, so let's see, if I just sack that zombie, that gets me up to 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that should be enough in itself, because he's at 9. So he sacks his Brindlebore, thinking that that was going to be enough. But this combat trick lets me get an additional 4 points, so if that's his only trick, then I've got him. So I wasn't sure how this card was going to play out, but if this gets me the win, then I have some newfound respect for the card. Oh, there we go. There's the good game. So I have an enormous Blood Baron and a Minotaur that are going to get me there. No fog? Okay, yeah, his good game actually meant good game. There we go. Alright, so there's round 1, and we are moving to the finals.